Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make your own homemade beef jerky. This is so delicious. It's great for gifts. It's probably one of my most requested gifts that I give. And it's a good way to make your meat shelf stable for years. And it's really easy to do. So I'm going to show you. Alright, I'm going to show you how to make beef jerky. I will post a recipe at the end, but I'm not going to actually show you specifically the recipe. I'm going to give you the principles because you know me, I want you to be able to make this with anything. So if you don't have the ingredients in the recipe, you can still make it if you understand the principles of it. Because with jerky or curing meat, there's really just one thing that you absolutely have to follow, and then everything else is your prerogative. Whatever seasonings or spices that you like, you can play around and have fun with it. So what you want to do is you have to make sure that you have a minimum of at least 1 full teaspoon of curing salt per 5 pounds of meat. That is what is required in order to preserve it. Anything above and beyond and extra than that is all your prerogative. So you could add garlic powders, onion powders, brown sugars. You could add any kind of flavor you want, smoke flavor, hot sauce. So play around with it. You could put Worcestershire, that word I can't say, sauce. A lot of people use that. So you can use whatever you like in it. Now, that's the minimum, and for people with a lower sodium intake or small kids, you would want to go lower on the salt, but you definitely can go higher. And honestly, for most recipes, you're probably going to want to at least double that for it to taste like the salty jerky that you get in the stores. So, or if you're mixing it with other things like soy sauce, for example, that has a lot of salt in it, then you might go to the low end of the curing salt so that you don't get it too salty. So play around with it, see how you like it. Again, I'll post at the very end a recipe that you can follow, but make sure you just watch through so I can give you all the tips and tricks that you need to make your jerky a success, no matter what ingredients you have on hand to put in it. Now, the first one I'm going to show you is the kind that you would see in the bag that's made from a roast, a solid piece of meat. This is my favorite. It's a little bit of a tougher one than the other one that I'm going to show you after this one. The way you're going to do this is that you need to slice it really, really thin. Now, I'm going to use a meat slicer in this one because I'm slicing up a lot of it and I have a meat slicer, but don't worry if you don't have that. I sliced these by hand for years, decades, before I got a meat slicer. You can slice it thin by hand with just a sharp knife. The trick is going to be that you want to chill it in the freezer for a little while first so your meat is not frozen solid but stiff, and that'll help you to be able to slice it a little bit thinner. So you just want to slice it thin. You want to add your salts, your seasonings, whatever flavors you're adding to it, and you need to marinate it for 18 to 24 hours. Make sure that it's, if you have to, like if you put it in a Ziploc bag or in a container, you're going to want to flip it a few times just to make sure that the marinade is getting everywhere and that it really soaks into that meat. Then you're going to put it into your dehydrator and let it dry for however long it takes. Honestly, I usually start snacking on it within about 5 hours. Meat actually doesn't take as long as some things to dehydrate. And it's one of the things that makes a dehydrator great. It's one of the things that a dehydrator shines with and cannot be copied or outdone by any other process. So if you want jerky, you gotta dehydrate it. You can't freeze dry it, you can't can it, it's never gonna be the same. You can do it in the oven, but it won't be quite the same as a dehydrator. So in another video, we may talk about a bunch of different kind of ways that you can dehydrate, campfire, smoking, ovens, all those different things outside. But for this one, this is how we're gonna do it, and it's super, super easy. Trim the fat off. Put all of your dry ingredients into some warm water to dissolve it. You're gonna want enough water in your container, Ziploc bag, whatever, to, submerge, not really like drown it, because you can always turn it around and you know, but because you're going to want it to soak up some of this moisture, but mostly just to get the flavorings in. So we want everything good and dissolved. And I'm going to store this in the fridge 18 to 24 hours. This is 2 roast. Cost roughly about $12 a piece. I usually cut them a little thinner than this, so I'll get a little more out of it than this. It wasn't really frozen quite enough to slice it thin enough. When I cut it by hand, I usually get it thinner, but it's fine because it's going to still work just fine. It's just going to take a little bit longer to dry. So probably about 6.5 pounds is what it's coming out to for $25-ish. So that's way cheaper than what you're going to pay at the store. So let's get them in the dehydrator and see how they do. Alright, so we took it out, and now I'm gonna seal it up in some jars. So we've got a big heaping pile of amazing jerky. So you can see now that it's dehydrated, the thickness. It's thin enough to see through. So, turned out well. Even though the pieces are a little bigger than normal. I mean thicker, not really bigger, but they're still right. Now the next one I'm going to show you are the little stick jerkies that you find in the checkout line, usually in like a single pack, or maybe there's 2 in the pack. And the kids really like these more. My niece and nephew love them because they're easier to chew for little teeth. They're softer. They're also cheaper. So you're going to want to do this one. It takes a little bit more salt because there's more surface area when you're dealing with ground meat. So we're going to go ahead and add a little bit more salt per 5 pounds than you would with the regular roast. But it's going to be the same after that. And then I'll show you now how you do it. You can buy these little tubes that you just push it through, and then it's going to go ahead and make all the shapes that you like to have the different kinds of stick or the little flat strip jerkies. These again make great gifts. People, with all of the gifts that I give, and I love to give, I am a giver. I go all out for Christmas. We buy for everybody. We buy for kids in the church, people in need, friends, family, and everything. But this is the one thing that everybody is waiting when they open their package. Where is my homemade beef jerky? They just love it. If your seasonings are extremely dry, you can add them straight to your ground meat. But if there's any clumping, like if you're going to put brown sugar in it or anything that's going to make it sweet, that's any bit moist or clumped, you don't want a big clump of that in your jerky stick. So the better thing to do would be to dissolve it in a little tiny bit of warm water. The smallest amount possible, depending on the portion size that you're doing, because you don't want to add any extra fluid more than what you have to. But it will dehydrate, so it's better to get everything fully dissolved so that you can mix it completely in with your meat really well. The great thing about doing the jerky sticks with the ground meat as opposed to actual slabs of beef roast is that there's no marinade time. You're adding the marinade directly into the meat, and then you're putting it directly onto the dehydrator. So even though the ground meat does take longer to dehydrate because it's a higher fat content, you lose a whole day of marinating time, so it's still faster in the long run. And work it all the way in, everywhere. Make sure the meat is fully and evenly saturated with your cure and with your seasonings. to make your jerky sticks, you can use one of these guns. Makes it very easy. You can roll it out just thin on parchment paper and then slice it, but it will dry better and quicker on the rack with air flowing between it if you use one of these guns. And it's really easy. All you got to do is pack it, close it, and lay it on. This is all from one pack of ground meat. So for what you would be paying for this at the store, for each one of them, oh my goodness, you're making this for pennies on the dollar. And you know what's in it. It's healthier. It's not some grease-filled byproduct mystery meat. So it's really, really great for gifts. People love it. People appreciate it. It's amazing. It's a healthy snack. Saves you a lot of money. And hey, very much better for your dog if you're training a dog than buying those chemically dog treats. So go ahead and try it. Again, these are the principles. It's not complicated. I'll give you the recipe, but I really want you to experiment and make it your own. I hope this video has been helpful and inspiring and shows you that these things are really not as complicated as people like to make it. Make it however you can with whatever you can. You just have to make sure you put enough salt in it, and really it's probably a lot less than you expected. So go ahead and invent your own jerky recipe.